First light touches the edge of a transformed world. Crystal dew catches early sun, each drop reflecting not the planet we feared we'd inherit, but one where human innovation serves nature's ancient wisdom. This is the story of how we chose to listen, to learn, and to let life lead the way. High above the Arctic Circle, morning reveals pods of bowhead whales breaking through waters that grow cleaner each season. Their massive bodies displace crystalline seas as they surface to breathe air scrubbed clean by a revolution in human industry. These aren't just surviving remnants of a vanishing species, their numbers grow steadily as ocean temperatures stabilize and food chains recover. Each surfacing marks another breath in a story of renewal. Beneath these giants, recovered kelp forests wave in currents warmed by global changes but still within survival range. Their fronds shelter countless species, from tiny fish to recovering sea otter populations. Each underwater forest draws down carbon from the atmosphere above, turning climate challenge into biological opportunity. This is how nature answers change with adaptation, with resilience, with life encouraging more life. Spring sunlight reveals vast herds moving across restored savannas. These aren't the last scattered remnants of once great migrations, these are growing populations, their ancient pathways protected and expanded by communities that prosper through conservation. Watch how wildebeest calves strengthen spindly legs for the great journey ahead. See how zebra foals learn their family stripes. Each new generation adds another thread to the tapestry of recovery. The herds move differently now, their timing adapted to new seasonal patterns. Yet their essential purpose remains unchanged, life seeking life across landscapes that bloom with renewed purpose. The grasses beneath their hooves pull carbon from the air, storing it in soil enriched by their passage. This is restoration that works with natural patterns rather than against them. In equatorial rainforests, morning mist rises from canopies that merge old growth with new understanding. Young orangutans explore expanding territories, swinging through corridors designed by ecology but built by human care. Their playground is a masterpiece of biological engineering where every tree serves multiple species, every path connects vital habitats. Watch how a mother teaches her infant which fruits ripen when, knowledge passed down through generations in a forest that grows richer each year. Above the forest floor, artificial pollinators work alongside their biological counterparts. Not to replace, but to support, helping native species recover while maintaining crucial ecosystem services. Tiny drones with gossamer wings pollinate flowers during population gaps, ensuring no species loses its chance at renewal. This is technology serving life's ancient rhythms. Deep beneath the canopy, soil systems regenerate through a partnership of traditional knowledge and modern science. Fungal networks expand their mysterious highways, carrying nutrients and information between trees. Indigenous wisdom about forest health merges with advanced monitoring systems, creating management approaches that honor both innovation and ancient understanding. In temperate woodlands, wolves prowl territories that span rewilded corridors. Their presence reshapes entire ecosystems, deer browse differently, saplings grow stronger, rivers change course as vegetation patterns shift. This isn't just species recovery. It's the return of relationship, of ecological process, of wild dynamics that make forests truly alive. Mountain peaks wear new garments of green as life adapts to changing conditions. Snow leopards teach their cubs to hunt across expanded ranges, their movements guided by protected pathways between peaks. Alpine meadows bloom with flowers carefully chosen to help species migrate upslope, each successful adaptation becoming a blueprint for others. Rivers run wild again through landscapes transformed by understanding. Salmon surge upstream past modern cities, their silver bodies flashing past children who press against viewing windows in wonder. Each successful spawning writes a new chapter in an ancient story of renewal. These aren't just fish returns, they're the resumption of nutrient cycles that feed forests, bears, eagles, and human communities alike. In revived wetlands, waterbirds darken the sky with their numbers. Not just in remote preserves, but near urban centers where wise design has created space for both human need and wild necessity. Watch how cranes dance their ancient courtship, how ducks dive for food, how herons stalk through shallows that clean water while supporting life. Desert winds carry tales of transformation as traditional water wisdom combines with modern technology to create new oases. Ancient canat systems merge with solar-powered condensation networks. Life returns to places long abandoned, proving that even the harshest landscapes can heal when we apply both ancient knowledge and new innovation. Cities breathe through networks of green arteries where wildlife moves freely. Urban centers have become catalysts for conservation, their designs incorporating the needs of countless species. Falcons nest in skyscrapers, hunting pigeons among buildings designed to prevent bird collisions. Green roofs provide stepping stones for migrating butterflies. Rain gardens filter pollution while creating habitat for amphibians. In laboratories that look more like gardens, discoveries emerge that honor life's complexity. Each finding reveals how little we knew and how much we can learn from nature's 4-billion-year experiment in survival. Scientists work alongside traditional knowledge keepers, their combined wisdom creating solutions that neither could achieve alone. Young hands plant tomorrow's forests in soil enriched by science and care. Their work builds on foundations laid by previous generations, their understanding deeper, their tools better, their hope sustained by visible progress. Each restored ecosystem becomes a teacher for the next. Schools maintain their own restoration projects, connecting children directly to the process of renewal. Traditional knowledge flows into predictive models that help guide adaptation. Indigenous wisdom about seasonal patterns enriches satellite data, creating management systems that bridge old and new ways of knowing. Ancient agricultural practices inform new approaches to sustainable farming, producing abundance while building soil health. The future grows from deep roots that reach back through time. Coastal zones pulse with renewed life as artificial reefs grow alongside natural ones. Each structure designed through collaboration between marine biologists and local fishers, their shapes perfect for both fish habitat and wave protection. Mangrove forests march back into territories they once held, their tangled roots nurturing fish nurseries while protecting shorelines. Watch how sea turtles return to beaches they abandoned decades ago, their ancient nesting instincts leading them to shores now kept dark during crucial hatching times. Cities along migration routes dim their lights during key seasons, creating safe passages for birds that navigate by starlight. This is human innovation serving natural wisdom. In recovering grasslands, bison shape the landscape with their grazing patterns, their hooves, their very presence. These aren't just managed herds, they're wild populations adapting to new challenges while maintaining ancient roles. Prairie dogs construct their underground cities again, creating habitat complexity that supports hundreds of other species. Deep in polar seas, new marine protected areas span international boundaries. Whales follow ancient migration routes through waters now managed with their needs in mind. Shipping lanes shift seasonally to avoid crucial feeding grounds. Below the surface, fish populations rebound as sustainable harvesting practices replace industrial extraction. Watch how elephant families teach their young to use wildlife corridors that connect fragmented habitats. These pathways span nations, crossing borders that mean nothing to the animals but everything to the human communities who maintain them. Each successful crossing strengthens population resilience, each new calf represents hope for species recovery. In the Great Northern Forests, bears patrol territories that grow more secure each year. Their movements help disperse seeds, their fishing habits redistribute marine nutrients inland, their very presence indicates ecosystem health. These aren't just surviving populations, they're thriving ones, fulfilling ancient ecological roles while adapting to new conditions. High in mountain ranges, glaciers still retreat, but life advances in new forms. Alpine meadows bloom with flowers carefully chosen to help species migrate upslope. Each successful adaptation becomes a blueprint for others, each restored connection a path toward resilience. Mountain communities prosper through economics built on protection rather than extraction. Night reveals new wonders as dark sky preserves allow ancient rhythms to continue. Nocturnal creatures follow paths unbroken by artificial light, their movements part of patterns that predate human civilization. Moths pollinate night-blooming flowers, bats patrol for insects, owls hunt under stars visible again through cleaner air. Beneath city streets, restored streams daylight after centuries underground. Their waters, once buried in culverts, now support life while managing storm surges. Children play along banks designed for both human safety and habitat value. Each restored waterway becomes a living classroom, teaching new generations about the possibility of renewal. In laboratories worldwide, breakthroughs emerge from studying nature's solutions. New materials inspired by spider silk, water collection systems based on beetle shells, carbon capture techniques learned from coral reefs, each innovation born from careful observation of life's ancient wisdom. Agricultural landscapes transform as farmers become ecosystem stewards. Fields pulse with life between crop rows. Beneficial insects thrive in hedgerows designed for biodiversity. Watch how birds of prey keep rodent populations in check, their hunting territories supported by carefully placed perches. This is farming that produces both food and wildlife, abundance and diversity. Across tropical coasts, coral reefs show surprising resilience. These aren't the same reefs our grandparents knew, they're evolving communities adapted to warmer waters. Heat-resistant corals share space with new species moving in from warmer regions. Each successful adaptation proves life's capacity to find solutions to our greatest challenges. Underground networks expand as soil systems recover. Worms engineer fertility in restored prairies. Fungi thread through forest floors, connecting trees in living webs of mutual aid. Microbes break down pollutants in urban soils, turning industrial wastelands into living gardens. Each restored handful of earth becomes a universe of possibility. Young scientists merge advanced technology with environmental protection. Artificial intelligence helps track endangered species without disturbing them. Drone pollinators support native insects while populations recover. Satellite monitoring allows immediate response to ecosystem threats. This is innovation serving preservation. In urban centers, buildings function like living organisms. Their walls clean air, their windows prevent bird collisions, their roofs harvest rain and solar energy while providing habitat. Parks connect through corridors designed for both human recreation and wildlife movement. Every neighborhood becomes an experiment in coexistence. Watch how salmon return to rivers they abandoned generations ago. Their bodies carry marine nutrients inland, feeding forests and bears and eagles. Each spawning run writes a new chapter in an ancient story of renewal. Communities celebrate these returns, their economies now built on preservation rather than extraction. Desert edges bloom as traditional water harvesting methods merge with modern technology. Fog catchers learn from beetle shells. Solar-powered condensers supplement ancient aquifers. Native plants return to lands long abandoned, proving that even the harshest places can support life when we work with natural systems. In the great polar seas, ice still retreats, but life finds new ways forward. Whales adapt their migration routes, following changing food sources. Seals find new haul-outs on protected shores. Each successful adaptation becomes a lesson in resilience, each surviving population a seed for future recovery. Mountain communities prosper through economics built on protection rather than extraction. Tourism supports conservation, traditional crafts find new markets, local wisdom guides land management. Young people stay in their ancestral lands, finding purpose in protecting their natural heritage. Watch how wolves reshape entire ecosystems by their return. Their presence changes how deer browse, how aspen grow, how rivers flow. These aren't just recovery stories, they're the resumption of relationships that make landscapes truly whole. Each successful reintroduction proves that repair is possible. In laboratories that look more like gardens, new understanding emerges daily. Scientists study how plants communicate, how animals navigate, how ecosystems heal. Each discovery reveals more about life's endless capacity for renewal. Each breakthrough guides better ways to protect and restore. Traditional knowledge flows into modern conservation, enriching both. Indigenous fire management informs forest protection. Ancient agricultural practices guide soil restoration. Seasonal knowledge helps track climate changes. This is wisdom bridging worlds, showing ways forward that honor both innovation and tradition. Young people inherit not just challenges, but solutions. They grow up knowing both the wounds we caused and the healing we achieved. Each generation builds on the restoration work of the last, their efforts creating new possibilities for life to thrive. Cities dim their lights during migration seasons, allowing birds to navigate by starlight as they have for millions of years. Urban darkness creates corridors for nocturnal life, letting ancient rhythms continue through human spaces. This is civilization learning to share time as well as space with wild necessity. Watch how coral gardens flourish in carefully protected waters. Marine biologists work alongside local fishers to restore reef systems, their combined knowledge creating sanctuaries that serve both conservation and community needs. Each recovered reef becomes a living laboratory, teaching us more about adaptation and resilience. Urban watersheds transform as cities learn to work with water rather than against it. Rain gardens replace concrete channels. Wetlands filter pollution while providing wildlife habitat. Rivers once buried in culverts daylight to flow freely again, their banks restored to support both human recreation and natural processes. Morning light reveals new kinds of farms where food grows in harmony with wild systems. Hedgerows buzz with pollinators. Birds nest in strategic tree lines. Soil builds deeper each year as carbon capturing practices merge with productive agriculture. This is farming that grows both food and ecosystem health. High in mountain ranges, snow leopards prowl through expanded territories. Their prey species thrive in protected valleys. Local communities prosper through conservation rather than conflict. Each successful interaction between human and wild needs demonstrates how coexistence benefits all. Desert winds carry tales of transformation as ancient oases revive through combinations of traditional wisdom and new technology. Watch how fog-catching systems learn from beetle shells, how solar-powered condensers supplement natural springs, how native plants return to stabilize shifting sands. In laboratories worldwide, scientists study nature's solutions to our greatest challenges. New materials inspired by spider silk, water collection systems based on lotus leaves, carbon capture techniques learned from coral reefs, each innovation born from careful observation of life's ancient wisdom. Young conservationists use advanced technology to track and protect endangered species. Artificial intelligence helps predict animal movements. Drones monitor remote areas without disturbing wildlife. Satellite data merges with traditional ecological knowledge to create more effective protection strategies. Urban planners design cities that function like ecosystems. Buildings clean air and harvest energy while providing wildlife habitat. Parks connect through green corridors that serve both human and animal needs. Every neighborhood becomes an experiment in coexistence. Watch how elephant families teach their young to use wildlife corridors that connect fragmented habitats. These pathways span regions, crossing borders that mean nothing to the animals but everything to the human communities who maintain them. Each successful crossing strengthens population resilience. In Arctic waters, whales breach through seas growing cleaner each year. Their ancient migrations continue through waters now managed with their needs in mind. Shipping lanes shift seasonally to avoid crucial feeding grounds. Fish populations rebound as sustainable harvesting replaces industrial extraction. Traditional knowledge guides modern conservation as indigenous communities share their understanding of seasonal patterns, species interactions, and ecosystem health. This wisdom, gained through generations of careful observation, enriches scientific data and improves protection strategies. Children grow up knowing the call of wild geese, the flash of salmon in restored streams, the flutter of butterflies in neighborhood gardens. Their education includes hands-on participation in restoration projects. Each generation builds on the conservation achievements of the last. Night skies darken as cities learn to protect natural darkness. Nocturnal creatures follow ancient pathways unbroken by artificial light. Moths pollinate night-blooming flowers, bats patrol for insects, owls hunt under stars visible again through cleaner air. This is not a story of return to some imagined pristine past. This is life moving forward, finding new ways to thrive in a changed world. Every success draws on both ancient wisdom and new understanding. Every solution honors both human needs and wild rights. Morning light catches the wings of a monarch butterfly emerging from its chrysalis. Its patterns are the same ones its ancestors wore for millions of years, but it flies through a world transformed by care. Its migration routes now wind through carefully tended corridors that span continents. This is tomorrow's wild. Not separate from us, but interwoven with our best aspirations. Not preserved under glass, but alive, evolving, adapting. Every species that survives carries forward nature's ancient wisdom. Every ecosystem that recovers demonstrates life's endless capacity for renewal. As the sun sets on another day in this transformed world, new possibilities take flight. This is not the end of our story with nature. It's a new beginning, written in the language of life itself, spoken in the voices of countless species, echoing through a future we chose to create. Tomorrow dawns with both challenge and hope. The work continues, the story unfolds, and life as it always has finds a way forward.